Alright, what's up, y'all? My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on, hold on. Today's the 22nd of August, 2026. This is a video under the main site of In the Image Clothing Company, one of the 4 sites to us, where our slogan is allowing the body to work. Okay? We're a clothing company, but only really for the sake of the functionality of the human being. There's only one way the human body's bones connect. The body grows by itself. There truly is only one way the human body could ever work. Okay? Mathematically measurable degrees of hinges, levers, and rotations, just determined by the shape and length of our bones that grow by themselves within this universal human design. There really is only one way the human body could ever work. But what happens is we get into chronic patterning, okay? Chronic patterns of working like this, okay? Throwing a ball with only one arm. We live in a right-handed world, okay? We're a clothing company, let's talk about it, but 85% to 90%, maybe, give or take, of human beings across the entire earth are right-handed, okay? But there's 2 sides to the body, evenly opposing the center line of the human being, which actually meshes with the vertical pull to gravity. Okay, my head's cut off. This camera's a little bit lower than I'd ideally like it for this, but it is what it is. The vertical pull to gravity, okay, it comes down and it meshes with the horizontal surface of the planet Earth. This creates a 90-degree angle. A perpendicular angle, a right angle, whatever you want to call it. As long as it's a word that describes what it just is what it is, okay? But there's even opposing musculature from the right side into the center line of the body, and the left side into the center line of the body. There's only one way the human body could ever work, no possible opinion to it. Okay, there's a lot of opinions on it, but the bones just grow by themselves. They're only the shape and length that they are. And the bones in the body connect extremely specifically and directly through ligaments, okay? Then we've got musculature connecting to these bones through tendons. Muscles only pull directly in line with opposing muscles to all the functioning, okay? We pull on either side of the centered or the neutral position to functioning to stabilize in the center, okay? In the neutral, there's a neutral position to the entire body. Everything. There's always 2 sides. Okay. To the entire body's functioning in all the ways that it has functioning. Here's the thing, okay? In the Image Clothing Company, what does that mean? Why are you a clothing company if you're talking about the anatomy of the human body in such depth that there could be no possible dispute to the saying that there's only one way the human body could ever physically, mechanically operate? Well, there is only one way it can work. It only connects how it does. But clothing is just the literal explanation, okay, the literal wording of anything physically placed onto anything, really. The way that God clothes the fields with grass. But placed onto our physical bodies, yeah, it's clothing, okay? Anything that is. Anything we choose to clothe the body with. Hats, gloves, socks, pants, shoes, tops, undergarments, jewelry. You've got this ball right here sitting on one of your shoulders. It's clothing my shoulder. Okay, technically. Truly, though, yes. I mean, that's what it is. Clothing. That's just how we explain what we place onto our bodies. And then we label things like some of the things I did. You know? T-shirts. It's just literally clothing the body. Okay? But gravity has the same effect on our clothing that it has on our bodies. And there's a lot of imbalances in clothing. They can get our bodies into deep chronic patterns of working, okay? Like being right-handed, you're just on only one side of your body when there's 2 sides to your body, okay? So, yeah, the thing is, we just discuss how we can modify clothing, okay? As one of the things, a lot of free modifications we give in fairly universal clothing imbalances shipped across the entire earth in modern 2026 and going forth that we just didn't have in the past. There's stretch in clothing that goes the opposite direction of the only way that muscles could ever work. Muscles only pull and stretch pulls away. Okay? Anyway, tags and clothing, all sorts of things. Shoelaces and drawstrings are just ropes we could tie on or around the body and twist the entire human being. I keep cutting my head out of the top of the frame, but I feel like I need to be right here. Then I get that close and I'm not fully in the frame of the camera. It's fine, but I'm just addressing, I understand. So, the 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, we've got to have clothing fitting the body properly, okay? Staying centered, with the center line of the body and Earth's center of gravity, clothing has to be centered, okay? Fitting correct, things like joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts. You can see this at the edges of the shoulders. We've got 3 bones that come to become the shoulder and join at the ends of the bones. We've got material that comes, and we need a seam joining right at the very edge of where those bones are as well. And then being made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials is what we need clothing to be, because our bodies are. Our bodies are literally only what we have eaten. The body just grows by itself. God does it. Nothing happens unless it does, and the body grows in the image of God, in the image of Jesus Christ. We're a clothing company here. Our 5-word company name. No spaces between the 5 words. Okay, found wherever you find our 5-word company name. We've got a lot of information on the body of the human being. Our slogan, like I said, allowing the body to work, is really the only reason we're a clothing company at all. We'll always have good clothing, okay, staying centered, fitting correct, being made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials. That's what we need, no matter who our clothing is from. That's what our clothing will always do at baseline under In The Image Clothing Company. But there's a lot to clothing, you know, a lot that can be imbalanced. Rotated seams, collar seams, with robots stitching our clothing in modern day. Things that never happened in the past. These things get shipped across the entire earth. These universal imbalances in ways that never could have happened in the past, because we didn't have things like airplanes, for example, until we did. Transportation is just different. A lot of things are different. Materials, unnatural materials got invented, and they damage the body. When the body's only natural, it's literally only the earth we eat that becomes the human being. We then decompose back into the earth after we die. There's only one way the human body could ever work. So don't believe me, but let's discuss truth, because truth is truth. Always. Spoken or unspoken, truth is always truth. Known or unknown, truth is always truth. The body works before we can understand how it does. That's a video's title currently under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. So, this video's title, 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, spoken by me, Evan Strong, the founder, and I will be leading this for my entire life. In The Image Clothing Company here, right? What's the title? Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Wow, and I've been right-handed my whole life, okay? As most people, like the vast majority of human beings across the entire planet Earth, are. We live in a right-handed world. You know, products that are designed to be used, which is what we design products for, is to use them as human beings. But, you know, with one hand, really, it's the right hand they're designed for. Right-handed products, right-handed world. You can picture a pair of scissors. It only works on one side, regardless of which side you flip it to. You know, you flip this pair of scissors over to cut something with, and it still only works as a right-handed pair of scissors. It doesn't really cut very well with your left hand, because you just put pressure on a certain angle with your right hand that you can't do the same on the left hand because of the design of the scissors. You know, as an explanation, and just a lot of things in life you'll notice if you go through life and try to see, could I do everything just as easily with my left hand? Even if it wasn't about your own capability in your body, but the way that things are designed. They're designed for the right hand, almost always, if they're not just centered things, right? So here's an airplane that we can listen to. There's no way. I was gonna throw it at that and have it bounce back. I gotta run grab that. Okay, bear with me. Wow, who are you getting your information from, right? 22nd of August, 2026. There's another airplane, so it's kind of just what it is. This is how it is with the flight school in this town. God. Oh. Oh my goodness, isn't it crazy? I'd just be kind of standing here waiting out the sound anyway, even if I didn't throw the ball and have to go get it, so let's wait for Utah County's flight school to be as noisy as it is until the planes pass. Holy cow. I'm not taking it personally. Every single human being in this town has to deal with that sound all day. It's so loud. That many planes just flying over that low. Anyway, the 22nd of August, 2026. This video is titled under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. I'll just get louder, I guess, right? Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Well, there's two sides to the body, and that's a lot of motion. The whole body, when you throw a ball, is involved. Holy cow, this is an insane video. Stick around for it. Don't mind me sounding so upset. I'm just upset. Understandably so, if you know what's going on, really. Okay. The information's here, though. Because if we throw a ball, it's the whole body that's involved. We're going to have external rotation on one side, down the leg. Internal rotation on the other side, down the leg. Okay? You see why I get upset? Where else do I go outside in this town that doesn't have all this noise? I'm doing all that I can, and this is just so hard to deal with. Holy cow. Blunt, bold, raw, and real in the Image Clothing Company style. It's just about the information, the date mark documentation, the 22nd of August, 2026. This video's title, holy cow, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Look at the rotations. The human body has rotations. Okay, we've got a neutral position. In the arms, from there, the arms can rotate inward toward the body, internal rotation, or the arms can rotate outward, away from the body, external rotation. But the arms just always rest neutral. There's two sides to the body, okay? The legs rest neutral. We've got internal rotation or external rotation, okay? Internal rotation or external rotation in the legs and the arms. Two sides to the body. There's a center line between that meshes with the vertical pull to Earth-centered gravity. Okay. Wow. So, what we have in the body is two sides, a right and a left. You can choose to throw a ball with the right or the left. That's kind of awkward for me still. I'm getting more centered still, right? Over 2 years out, after getting out of chronic patterning began in my body personally. That's what we do under In The Image Clothing Company. That's really what it means, allowing the body to work. Is either you never alter the body, and it just works. God designed the body to work. That's why we have it. It's a mechanical machine placed onto this rock in space we call Earth. It's just got the motion it does to take us across the Earth. But you can have a different body, only different from this universal human design. We have to get as close as we can, though, to this universal human design's physical functioning because of physics. Universal laws outside of all of us. Gravity's vertical pull, things like this. The horizontal surface of the planet Earth, this perpendicular angle like I was discussing at the beginning of this video on the 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand, okay? Well, the thing is, there's a lot happening. If I take the ball in my right hand, 85%, 90% maybe, give or take, of human beings across the planet Earth are right-handed, and I just throw this ball, I'll take my left leg and I'll externally rotate it, point it more forward toward the direction I'm throwing the ball. My back leg, my right leg, with the ball in my right hand, will internally rotate, okay? So I'll go like this. External, internal, with the legs. Now my arms, I'm going to have my right arm come forward and internally rotate. And then I've got that release like this. Off the fingertips, the ball will roll. Okay, and I'll extend my fingertips. But the whole body, as you can see, this is the focus, is the whole body's twisting to one side. Internal rotation in my right arm, external rotation in my left. Well, I've got external rotation in my left leg and internal rotation in my right leg, okay? The whole body just pivots around the center line, okay? One side of the body accommodates for the other side of the body. The video's title currently under In The Image Clothing Company's main side here. So one side of the body is externally rotating, and in this case, when I'm throwing a ball in my right hand, my left side externally rotates, and my right side internally rotates. So now the spine in the center between the left and right sides of the body, let's do it like this, okay, stays centered with Earth's vertical gravity pull. The spine's the vertical support of bone above the hips, the only bone that vertically supports the body like that above the hips. And the spine's in the direct center of the body. So from the hips all the way up to the base of the skull. From the top of the pelvis up to the base of the head. Okay, yes, there's your wording two different ways so you can see what I'm saying. 22nd of August, 2026. This video is titled under In The Image Clothing Company's main side here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Okay, I showed it with the right side. Now let's say I'm throwing a ball with my left hand. Now this is the thing, 85% to 90%, give or take, of human beings across the planet Earth are right-handed. Like I've been saying in the video so far, right? On the 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. So, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand, well, for most all human beings across the earth, it's going to be so much more natural, comfortable, and really just easy, more easy, or easier, to throw a ball with your right hand, like this. But there's two sides to the body, and it has to stay stable by having both sides work, okay, evenly. There's another airplane flying overhead here on the 22nd of August, 2026. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the thing. Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand, look how much is happening in the whole body. Look how different one side of my body is moving versus the other side of my body, okay? I'm waiting out the airplane noise a little bit, at least, right? You know, St. George, Utah is where we're actually permanently based, as in the Image Clothing Company. The state of Utah here, the United States of America, but here in Utah County, you've got airplanes all day, almost every single day, flying overhead, making a lot of ridiculously loud, disruptive noise. And every single person in the town and the surrounding towns has to deal with it. It's not even a personal problem. It's a problem that hundreds of people, well, many thousands of people have to deal with here. It's annoying. Very annoying. Very, very annoying. Even just having a conversation, let alone filming a video on the 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Well, if we try to throw something with our left hand, but we've been right-handed our whole life, we might be in some patterning. Chronic patterning getting built up in the body, bone spurs, where muscles that connect to tendons and then connect to bones, right? The muscles connecting to bones through tendons, they can pull on the bone in a position that's not the only way the bones are shaped if our body's just not in alignment, okay? And now the muscle connecting to the bones through tendons pulls on the bones, but the bones are only the shape that they are, okay? There's another airplane flying now overhead here. So what we really do under In The Image Clothing Company, getting out of chronic patterning, is ridding this patterning, allowing the body to work going forth once we understand how our bodies do work, and having them reside in their neutral positions. There's a neutral position to the entire human being. Everything, the jaw from left to right, the wrist from up or down, the shoulder from up or down, the shoulder from front and back. The whole body, the feet on the horizontal surface of the earth, then lift up or point down. They dorsiflex or they plantar flex. You've always got to start neutral first. The entire human being has a neutral position. But this is the problem, is if we're right-handed and we're in a right-handed patterning, you can throw right or throw with your right side, but it's hard to throw with your left side. It's the exact opposite side of the body as the right side. I'm just yelling over the airplanes. Man. So anyway, yeah. The point is, we need to be able to do everything seriously, even though this might sound like kind of an extreme thing. It only sounds like kind of an extreme thing if it does, because we're so stuck on one side of our bodies in a right-handed patterning, but the left side of the body is connected to the same center line as the right side is. And what I mean by that is, we won't be centered if you can't just have even working of your body on the right side versus the left side. And why it matters to be centered is because the body is standing up. We've got 2 feet evenly opposing the center line of the human being. They grip arches in the feet, okay? The feet grip the ground and create an arch structure like this, okay? And so they evenly oppose the center to support the whole body. The feet do. But if they're not evenly opposing the center of, yes, the body, but also just Earth's vertical gravity pull, then we can't even stand up well. We can't even walk well. You can't even breathe very well. It takes the entire body to some degree to stabilize in every single breath we take as a human being. Just a lot of motion happening, right? Expansion and contraction of the lungs within the rib cage, and it moves all the way around in 360 degrees if it's not altered. Now, what can alter this the most directly? The only thing physically placed on the human being, the literal word of clothing the body with anything, okay? In the Image Clothing Company here. This is a video on our main side. Okay. One of our fourths. On the 22nd of August, 2026. The video's title, Throwing with the right hand versus the left hand. Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. We need to be able to throw left-handed. You have to. Even if you're right-handed, you got to be able to do this. And it's kind of awkward when you're not used to it. You've got to throw with your left hand. Because throwing with the left hand, we discussed the right hand, but over here on the left side of the body, with the ball in my left hand, the right leg steps forward into external rotation. The right arm will be externally rotating. The left arm will be internally rotating, and the left leg will be internally rotating. One side of the body accommodates for the other side. Okay? That's not this video's title, but like I said, that's a video's title under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here. But that's just a focus we have to understand in life. As we do things in life, one side of the body accommodates for the other side of the body. Okay? There's 2 sides to the body. There's a center line between. There's clothing physically placed on the human being. You know, there's rotated seams in clothing in modern 2026, where there are at least. Now your clothing's rotating outside of your body, but your body has to stay centered to be able to rotate inside your clothing. You have to start from a neutral position to be able to have both sides of a function happening, like rotations, internal versus external rotation, right? So the thing is, you have to be able to throw with both sides of your body if you're throwing a ball, for your body to work, even just to breathe, not to be some high-end, expert athlete, but just meaning the motion has to be able to happen. Even if you never threw anything at all in your life, here's another airplane flying overhead here. You still have to be able to have the motion happen, meaning you need to be able to get full internal rotation on your right side with full external rotation on your left side, and full internal rotation on your left side with full external rotation on your right side. These opposing functions have to be able to happen even if you're never going to throw a ball in your life. Let me go grab that ball. There's a point to the unconventionality of the videos, the authenticity of just documenting information. 22nd of August, 2026, this video is titled, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Okay, so anyway, we need to use the left side of our bodies if we're right-handed. You need to use the right side of your body if you're left-handed, okay? Because it's got to stay centered. There's a center to the vertical pole of gravity. There's bones in the center line of the body. The sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, the jaw. Some things in the center line of the body, with even opposing musculature connecting into them. Well, here's the thing. The jaw stabilizes the entire human being. The jaw also breathes and eats and speaks for the entire body. The jaw plays these functions, and it's just got to stay centered. And so, just like we need to be able to throw a ball with the right hand, as well as we can throw a ball with the left hand, we need to be able to eat with the left hand, as well as we can eat with the right hand, because the jaw needs to stay centered. The jaw's chewing food, right? Eating and drinking with the left hand, really just meaning non-dominant, but that's a video's title currently here under In The Image Clothing Company's main side as of the 22nd of August, 2026. The jaw stabilizes the entire body. The jaw has musculature coming up and connecting to the crown of the head from the lower jawbone called the mandible. The jaw has musculature coming down to the upper ribs from the lower jawbone called the mandible. The jaw has musculature coming to the very edges of the shoulders from the lower jawbone called the mandible. Don't believe me? Watch this though. Okay, look at my collar, my top, my necklace. They need to stay centered and snug. Anything around the neck. In the Image Clothing Company, yes. Watch my collar move when I move my jaw musculature. Left side, right side, both sides. Okay, so when we're throwing a ball, the jaw's connected to the hand, not just the shoulder. The hand is the shoulder. Earth's vertical gravity pull. It pulls the pendulum of the hand down from the other end of the shoulder, okay? In the neutral, relaxed, is where good posture is, okay, if you're calling it posture. And then from there, you've got two sides, okay? There's only one way the human body could ever work. So, like I said, there's a point to the unconventionality, and me screaming as well, here in the Image Clothing Company's videos. I'm just discussing truth. I don't get to decide it or change it. Okay? No human being does. The jaw connects to the edge of the shoulder, though. And so, if we're in a right-handed patterning, the right side of our bodies, which would actually stand like this, though, on the left leg, in a right-handed patterning. Okay. But yeah, in a right-handed patterning, wow. Truth is truth. In the Image Clothing Company, we know what we're talking about. Yeah. Permanent as well. Permanent. Our company, the information we deliver, if it aligns with truth that we don't get to decide or change, which is how truth always is. Okay, but yes, the jaw does connect to the shoulder. So on the 22nd of August, 2026, this video is titled under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Well, we need to be able to do it on both sides. But if we've got a patterning happening where we're right-handed, the right side of our bodies is just off to the side more than the left side of our bodies. It's pulling on the jaw, okay? So you're pulling in your jaw, and maybe you've been eating with just your right hand and your jaw has the teeth connecting into it, and maybe they wear off to the right. And so now you're over here like this, and you can throw with your right hand, but you can't really throw with your left hand in a position with your jaw off to the right. Your jaw has to stay centered before the rest of your body, down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, can be centered. Those feet gripping the ground, evenly opposing the center line of the body in Earth's vertical gravity pull. The jaw stabilizing the entire body above those feet, while those feet are stabilizing the entire body from beneath it. The body's a kinetic chain. It's a mechanical machine. There's only one way the bones connect in the human being. Muscles only connect to those bones and then pull directly in line. There's only one way the human body could ever work. I mean it. It's always been the exact same. It always will be. There's only one way the human body could ever physically, mechanically operate. Is really what I mean with that when I'm discussing motion like this. As the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong, yeah, there's only one way this can ever possibly happen, okay? Throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Well, it's just the exact same thing on the exact opposite side of the body. So you have to be able to start centered or else you're never going to do it. What I mean is allowing the body to work. In the Image Clothing Company's main side slogan here is just about being intentional. Let's say you've got a deformity or something, you don't even have two arms. Well, that's one thing. But like I'm saying, the function still needs to be able to happen. Or it's a vertical gravity pull. You still need to be able to get into a position where you're centered, even if you don't have your whole arm and you got an amputation. Deformity, birth defect, major surgery, injury you're healing from, whatever it is. Your body's different from something, which is this universal human design. We've got to get as close as we can to the universal human design's functioning, just to even breathe. Breath is the essence of human life. The thing we can go the least amount of time without before we die. So there's a lot going into this, okay? You've got an oversized top. It's not going to sit centered on your shoulders. In the Image Clothing Company, I was going to kick it, but then I'd have to chase it down if I wanted to get it back. It's a little tennis ball. Yeah, so oversized clothing in itself is an imbalance, right? And so if you have clothing that's not just sitting, I discuss it as like a cage for the shoulders, just locking the shoulders in place with the joints of the material of the edges of the shoulders, right at the very edges of the bones of the shoulders. Oversized clothing, it'll just fall to your dominant side. We could say fall because of Earth's vertical gravity pull. We could say if you've got a collar seam or anything discrepant or different in the collar of a top, on the left side, it'll move your collar off to the right side, okay? And then you've got the collar sitting around the musculature of your neck imbalanced, and some of that musculature of the neck is the jaw muscles, okay, which connect to the shoulder, and the shoulder goes down to the hand, and the hand is what we're throwing a ball with. Okay. There's only one way the human body could ever work. So we do give a lot of free modifications in clothing to allow the body to work here under In The Image Clothing Company. You have to do it, is the point. You don't have to care about us. Really. But truth is truth. Your body's a mechanical machine, that's it. Physically, that's it. Fueled by food, lubricated by water. Grows by itself. All the organs just do their functioning. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, if you will. You know, yeah, all the body doing what it does just only does what it does. So my point is, before we could ever even think about throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand, which is this video's title on the 22nd of August 2026 under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, we need to first start with an unaltered body, or start with that in mind. How would the body work if it wasn't altered? If the body was centered, we were just standing on Earth's vertical gravity pole. From here in a centered position, I could just throw a ball with my right hand, and I could just throw a ball with my left hand. Oh shoot. Carefully. To not wrench on your spine with your feet together like that. But that's what I mean. You know, one side of the body accommodates for the other side of the body. So you can't really throw a ball, first of all. That's just some more context to give with this. Since that happened, that just brought that to my attention to discuss here. With your feet directly together, you can't actually throw a ball with just only one hand or the other hand, because you're twisting your upper body, but your lower body is at the same position. You know, from your hips up to your fingertips, through your spine, and out your shoulders to your hands, right? You'll twist your body, but down below your hips with the legs on either side of the center line of the body, down to the 2 feet on either side of the center line of the body, they need to be able to accommodate. And so if the feet are just even, but the arms are different, now your body's twisted. If the feet are accommodating for what the hands are doing, then your body can stay centered. So, yeah, there you go. This video's title, oh my gosh, 22nd of August, 2026, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. You gotta start centered. You gotta start centered. You did start centered. Human beings just grow centered. We get into chronic patterning along the way. Look at the babies. Look at the toddlers, you know. The bodies work. They walk well and they stand well once toddlers start walking, you know. Babies are centered. You look at their feet and they are even on both sides of their bodies. They're just not in patterning. But human beings can get into patterning as time goes by in life. We live in a right-handed world, okay? But there's two sides to the body. Okay. Anyway, there you go. I mean, that's great. That's awesome. That's so good that it's wonderful. Shoelaces and drawstrings. In The Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique. The only way the top of the feet are shaped if we just weave a rope across the top of the feet. Bones, ligaments, tendons, and muscles make up these gripped arches in the feet. The amount of bones in the feet are over a fourth of the bones in the entire body. Okay. The feet stabilize the entire human being. I know I'm standing uncentered right now, and I point it out because gravity. And just the space that it causes between my body and my hand. If I have something in one of my hands, it's not in my other hand. But there's a center line of the body, okay? Before you could throw with the right hand, you gotta start centered and shift off to the right side a little bit. Before you could throw with the left hand, you gotta start centered and then just shift off to the left side a little bit. Really, actually, you're shifting off to the other side, though. Like, if I'm throwing with my right hand, I'm shifting my weight off to my left side, like this. I'm exaggerating it so you can see, but I'm stepping off to my left side with the weight so that I can swing this whole pendulum of my arm on the right side of my body. If I'm throwing it with my left hand, on the 22nd of August, 2026, this video's title under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand. Well, yeah, if I do switch over to my left hand now, I'm actually shifting my weight off to the right side of my body like this, so I can swing my left arm and really just get this whole pendulum swinging. Well, I've got a counterbalance of weight over Earth's vertical gravity pull. So, yeah, we are a clothing company. To do what our slogan is here, under In The Image Clothing Company's main side, and it is allowing the body to work, okay? Clothing is just the only thing physically placed on our physical bodies, and it's just gotta work, bro, for the body. Yeah, everything you do in life, you're doing it in, but also through the literal word of whatever's clothing your body. In waking and sleeping life, right? So, anyway, we talk about a lot of things, but yeah, if your shoelaces aren't allowing your feet to work, then that natural rotation through your whole leg to accommodate won't be there, okay? And then your body will be in pain because your body shouldn't twist at spots it shouldn't twist. You know, like the spine, we shouldn't twist the spine. Rotations happen at the arms and at the legs. And so, yeah, from the hips down to the feet, from the shoulders out to the hands. That's how we do what we're doing here. The 22nd of August, 2026, In The Image Clothing Company's main site here, throwing a ball with the right hand versus the left hand, right? So, yeah. It's two sides to the body, okay? We give a lot of understanding under In The Image Clothing Company. You know, free modifications, if you will, on how to approach life we discuss, if that's how we can explain that, and that's how I'm explaining it, but if you can understand what I mean, things like this. You know, in life, if you're playing sports, you can't always use only your right side. In life, if you're playing sports, you can't always only use your left side, because there's two sides to the body. So you are creating imbalances, chronic patterns of working in your body, okay? Every time you go play a sport to try to exercise your body, maybe, to try to help your body, maybe, you're damaging it worse. Every time you use only your right side, or every time you use only your left side, because there are two sides to the body, and we seriously need to be able to use both sides really for everything evenly. And that's a lot of work to be that intentional in life, to be able to really just do everything as even as we possibly could with both sides of the body. But we physically, truthfully, mathematically, biologically, anatomically have to. If our bodies are going to work, the only way they connect. Okay, truly, that's it. I mean, there's only one way the human body could ever work. It's impossible, always has been, and it always will be, to train the human body to get it to do anything different than just what it's always been able to do. And just how the bones connect and the body grows by itself. That's all it could ever do, is just what it's always been able to and always will be able to do. You know, we just do things for the first time and learn how to do them, but only the way that the body physically can move to do those things. There's only one way the human body could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. It's no new information, but we just don't understand it if we don't. And really what we don't know is things like the fact that there's rotated seams in modern clothing in 2026. So even while you're asleep, your body's being deeply ingrained into a pattern of working in a rotation rather than just centered, you know. And so We don't get this stuff if we don't get this stuff. We don't understand this stuff if we don't understand this stuff. What we don't know is this stretch in clothing will always only and ever and forever damage your body. Within stretchy clothing, your muscles pull together. Stretch in clothing pulls away. So, yeah. You know, the thing is, if you're right-handed, the right side of your body just gets pulled off from the center line of your body more than your left side does. You know, so never stretch your body. Sounds like a claim. I'll be doing this for the rest of my entire lifetime. Leading in the Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong, the founder of it. Yeah, don't stretch your body, but that's some context we'll give deeper. It's just that the body is being stretched away from itself in something like a throw of a ball, for example. The body just starting centered and even, it stretches away from the center line of the body. You're just, when I say stretches, it's not a stretch, it's an elongation of muscles. Okay, that's how you're throwing something away from you, is you're extending hinges by pulling muscles, but you're also just pulling parts of your body, like your entire arm, farther away from your center line to get that motion, to propel the ball, like this. Although, well, yeah, like this. But there's two sides to the body, okay? So, thank you! Wow, okay. Yeah, it is the 22nd of August, 2026. This is a video under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company. As I've said many times in this, I know I do it intentionally. We're a permanent company. It's for the sake of the date-marked documentation, to show credibility, longevity, and validity. And also just to give free information under what I call the gift of video, as the founder and the leader for life of In The Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong. So check out the other three sides: In The Image Clothing Company Poodles, In The Image Clothing Company Podcast, with discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're on episode 216 as of today's date, the 22nd of August, 2026. And In The Image Clothing Company Music. Check us out. We do what we do. You don't have to be religious at all, you know. But we're all human beings. The same thing, placed on the same earth, designed by the same God. Let's do this. Let's try to do this. Nope. Sorry, nope. I was going to do a little palm spin thing, but my toe is still healing and it kind of hurts. So that would be a little bit pushing it. Had an ingrown toenail pretty bad for the past few months. It's still pretty bad, actually, right now. Anyway, thank you, okay? Thank you, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and however many more. The state of Utah, the United States of America, matters to us, as In The Image Clothing Company. It's where we're based, specifically down in St. George, Utah, southern Utah, the Mojave Desert. I love the desert, personally. Okay, I do. But also, stick around and find out. But thank you. Yeah, so use both sides of your body the same, okay? In all the ways you can. It takes time, man. It's taken me a couple years plus to get out of chronic patterning personally in my body. But, yeah, it's worth it. There's always still only one way the human body could ever work. But we do things for the environment, you know, things with the dogs, in-person events, In The Image Clothing Company. In The Image Clothing Company Poodles is a big deal. Thank you.